Hello, Key Biscayne. It is Monday, May 14th, 2018. This is your No One's Listening show, episode 109. My name is Rafa. I'm your host, and with me is the amazing panel, the legacy panel, you might call them. To my left is Anna.
Hello, Key Biscayne.
To her left is G-Man.
Good to be back. Apologize for Moose in the background there.
To his left is Griff.
Hey, everybody.
And to his left is me. Hey. Moose is here too. He's
You
grunting.
can probably hear him.
He's grunting back there. You might hear him. I wanted to say before we even start, I just wanted to say if you are listening right now, which I guess I could check if somebody's listening right now. We're gonna fix things up so we're still on the radio. Oh, Manny's listening. Well, there's some kind of way to.
Really? Hi,
there's
Manny.
some kind of.
Manny.
Great. Hey, Manny.
Missing you, Manny. There is some kind of way to like subscribe so you get a notification every time we're on, and then that way, if you're in your car, you can hear us, and then it feels like a radio show. So if you see that option somewhere there in your app or whatever you're doing, make sure you check it out. Okay, let's start how we always start. It's called Weekend Talk, and I know we had a nice little Friday at the CUDA.
The CUDA. That was a good time.
Barracuda?
Yeah, we went to Barracuda.
What? That sounds so fun.
He invited us.
It was Gannon's idea.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was Derek's idea.
Can we do it again this
Long,
week?
estranged Calusa brother, Derek, was his idea to go to the CUDA. And
Fun.
I thought it went well. It was a good dive bar over there. It really hasn't changed. I'm sure you remember what it was like.
Yeah, I've been there
It's-
in the past 2 years. Maybe.
Oh, you have? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's still pretty gross.
Yeah.
But
Like-
it was awesome.
Still good.
I was surprised at how many beers they have now. They have legitimate selection there.
Nice.
I still
Yeah, 'cause
just
it-
drank like Miller Lite or whatever, but
It used to be all like Natty Light and Bud
Well-
Light.
More importantly, who were the people that were there? Like, was it young college people or was it old fogies?
Oh man, and they're so young.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
But there-
so many college
Oh, so it's a good question.
girls.
Yeah, so many college
Yes.
girls. Oh, and then wait, there was also a Griff in the year 2035, along with Chris in the
Yeah.
year
Oh
2035.
my god, that's amazing.
Which was so funny.
It was pretty
Did you guys take pictures?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
that,
Check 'em out.
that joke really didn't get the credit that it deserved.
It's really good.
It was
It's really
limited
good.
to
I'm excited for
our
this.
tiny little chat, and it was just like so.
It only made
The
sense
most
for
thing
our
is that
chat.
I noticed it. I noticed it.
Was that where, wait, we went there 2 years ago and did karaoke. Wait.
Is the
it's
caption on there,
actually
though?
really good.
Oh,
Griff and
man.
Chris, this guy's Calusa Club is in the Oh my god. Johnny.
Yeah,
It's so good.
that's if it goes bad. That's if it goes bad.
Oh my
Griff
god.
was good, but the Chris lookalike is even
The
somehow
Chris
even
is
better.
amazing.
And just the timing of it, it was a good hit. It
Guys,
was
that
good.
is so good.
Yeah.
I
It
give
really
props to the CUDA though, man. They still have a good group of people that go on Fridays. There was still a few locals that they were older.
Yeah. I like that.
So it's still good. We ran into Billy.
Yeah, Billy Krause.
Oh, he was just there randomly?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says he likes.
We
hanging out
got there. He got us a table.
Yeah.
And he got us a picture of Bud Light.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome.
that was
Yeah,
real
he-
nice.
Yeah.
There was a lot of love in the air. And I ran into the only other Gannon that I've ever even heard of.
You guys had an eventful night then.
Yeah. I've heard about this guy for the past, since high school. I've known of his
Who
existence.
is he?
He's a regular looking white dude. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't look that unlike me, I would say. I mean,
All white people look alike.
yeah, I mean, it was kind of anticlimactic. I was like, hey, you're the other Gannon. And he was just like, yeah, so what's up?
That's it.
I was like, wow, there
Oh
must
my
be
God,
a lot of
you guys.
Gannons going on in your life. This isn't a big deal. I was just creeping on him the whole night, like, man. Yeah,
Oh my God, that's
I was like,
so funny.
what's Gannon doing over there? Gannon. I don't know. Didn't get a picture or anything. It was kind of, yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I get weirded out when I meet someone with my name, which my name's really common, so it happens a lot, but I can't really hang out with them too much.
Why you can't say it out loud?
I hey,
like, hey,
Anna, what's
Anna.
up? I can't. It makes me uncomfortable being around other Annas, unless I'm related to them.
So, Gannon,
Gannon 2 or Gannon 1?
Gannon 1. which was what the other guy was calling himself.
No, Gannon was right here.
And Gannon was like, no. Gannon's like, okay, if you're Gannon 1, then I'm Gannon A. Okay.
Oh, I like that. That's right.
But Gannon 1
Banana.
is a lot like Gannon. He's like, he's not a firefighter, he's a cop. He's better looking.
He's Bizarro Gannon? Oh my
Yeah.
God, is he Bizarro Gannon?
No, I wish this is all conjecture. We really don't know that much about this guy.
No, I think I talked to him about it.
No, we can
Better
go-
at making out. Everything.
Guys, let's go back to Barracuda. Can I like make
So-
this happen somehow?
At the risk of spending too much time talking about the dive that is the Barracuda, that place, since we were like, for like a decade now, has had indentations in the crappy 7-Eleven floor that hold puddles of just like rancid beer. And like people are playing beer pong and the freaking ball's bouncing into the puddles
Ew.
and like rolling around and people are just like dipping them in water and they just keep playing. It's
Gross.
right foul in that place. And the bathroom is gross.
The bathroom is a little gross.
But man,
But it has a good neighborhood feel and bumped into numerous people we know, and the beers are reasonable. There's a pool table.
Yeah.
It's a good layout. You can see everybody in the
Yeah.
bar from
Yeah.
any position, you know. And
I
there's a
went-
good outside. These guys go out and have a cigarette, and
Yeah.
there's people out there hanging out. It definitely has not lost any of whatever luster it has. I'll say that.
We did
Yeah.
karaoke there like 2 years ago, you and I. Didn't we?
the Cuda?
Yeah, didn't we?
I feel like I've seen that
With the Cubans.
happen. No, I didn't get to go to that.
You didn't go to that?
No.
Oh man, I took these artists that were visiting from Cuba to Barracuda on karaoke night, and we got crazy, and it was all like blonde college girls. They were like, "Oh my god," and they're like, in their 40s.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, we decided to go and have a whiskey drink at the Sandbar, which is next door.
Yeah.
Even more college girls.
Oh, yeah,
and
Sandbar feels
college
more
guys,
college.
like just college. So that was fun. That was
Yeah.
a good break from the CUDA for half an hour. And then we ended up at Chip's house.
Yeah.
Good friend Chip.
Really?
He has a house in the Grove. And
Wow.
Chipper.
we were there for the
Melrose
late
Place.
night. Great time. Thank you, Chip.
Yeah, it was a good time.
That sounds good.
So how was New York?
Oh, great. Always. Yeah.
Any one little tidbit you could give us?
I had a good time. I
She
don't know. what-
fell on the ground.
Jazz
I
or something?
fell. I did see jazz. I went to this jazz club on Friday night. It was so good. I had celebrity sightings. Did I send them to you? No. I sent them to Al. He's like, who are these people?
Like Andy Cohen celebrities?
No, you know who I saw? The girl from My Girl, Veda.
No.
What?
And-
What does she look like?
The same, but an adult, and
Is
she
she
was
pretty?
speaking Portuguese the whole time.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, she was speaking Brazilian Portuguese, and I was like, Pedro, that's Veda from My Girl, and my brother, he's like, who the hell is Veda, and what is My
I don't know.
Girl?
We all had a crush on her when we were kids.
Anna Klumsky or something like that. No, she was like not dressed well, like had flip
But
flops
is she still
on.
pretty? No.
Medium.
No? Well.
I feel bad saying that. I mean,
Okay.
she's a handsome-looking person. I don't know, but and
Did you
she's
say
speaking
she was a
Portuguese.
handsome-looking
Yeah,
person?
that's what I
like
heard.
she's like a good, like
Okay, she looked healthy, is what you're saying.
yeah, sure. She looks good, but
Was she in anything else other than My Girl?
So I had to Google that because my brother was like, "Get over your fake celebrity sighting," and
that's
she
a
was in
big
My
one.
Girl too, and she's in some
Okay.
like Law and Order episodes and like,
Let's not pretend that just because somebody was in one iconic movie that doesn't make them a celebrity sighting. All right, I'm pretty sure if you saw Benny the Jet Rodriguez on the street, you'd be pretty starstruck.
She doesn't
I don't even know what that
she
is.
doesn't know who that
I was looking at Jonathan like,
is. She never watched the movie The Sandlot.
oh, I did, but like back then, I never watched it again.
Oh, she was in that too?
No,
No.
I'm talking about Benny the
Oh.
Jet Rodriguez.
So that was my celebrity sighting number one, and number two was Jemima Kirk. She's on she's on the show Girls actually, so that's kind of funny and put that together. But I don't know why I'm talking about celebrity sightings. I thought it was funny. We have a joke of celebrity
About
sighting. Rafa and
seeing
I.
celebrities in the big cities.
But I went to see a lot of great exhibitions and saw some jazz on Friday night. Slept early some other nights. Oh, ran into a guy from Miami on the plane and then ended up going to have a drink at the bar. It was his birthday. What's his name? Casey. It's random.
One
Yeah.
of those. Hi, Anna.
With my brother and a bunch of other people.
Okay.
No, this guy's the guy who runs the Center for Subtropical Affairs that used to be Yard Bar. I don't know. He's a little crazy, but he's cool.
Shout out.
Anyway, that was my weekend. I just got back right now.
All right. Well, that's your weekend talk. It is Monday, May 14th, 2018. Listening to No One's Listening show. We had it on Sunday last week. Now it's on Monday. It used to be on Wednesdays.
I'm liking Mondays so far.
We're trying to
Testing.
find the
The groove.
right fit, the groove, the right
spot,
groove.
the special
Exactly.
spot.
Trying to get back into the saddle.
I would say Sundays are kind of,
Nice cowboy reference.
that's kind of a hard sell for a lot of people, no?
It sounded like a good idea in my head until you realize that on Sunday afternoon you are very tired and you don't feel like doing anything.
And you don't want to
Whereas
talk to anybody.
on Monday afternoon you are, you're in a...
Yeah, people are hungry on Mondays. That's why Monday softball is always so
Yeah.
good. You know, they're just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
The weekend hasn't kicked in yet, and you're still on the hangover train.
Exactly.
So I
That's
vote
good.
for Mondays.
Anyway, you want to talk music and what we're listening to this week? One thing I did want to mention was, so I told you, G-Man, let's go to get the radio back up tomorrow.
Yes.
I have a freaking 4th of July meeting that I totally forgot about.
All right.
Boo.
You can't do Wednesday, but
No.
you can do Thursday, maybe?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Thursday could work too.
Okay. Well, I was wondering if the rest of the panel, and Manny, if he's still listening over there, would want to go out there on Thursday and do a little, get the radio back on, and we could do like some kind of meeting over there, and
Yeah.
we bring us some little things
On what day now?
on Thursday.
Oh, Thursday.
If
yeah.
the weather's good, yeah.
I'm down.
Okay.
Even if it's raining.
Plan for that,
Okay.
Okay.
and
Let me write it down on my agenda.
Manolo, if you're listening, that's what's going to happen. And so, because we're going to put the music back on the real radio, we should probably talk about what we're listening to. You guys have anything? I do have something good.
Go ahead.
Okay, there's a band. It's called Parquet Courts. I'm a big fan. We went to the concert.
We went to the concert at Gramps like a year ago.
They have a new album out this Friday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they put out a song. It's called Mardi Gras Beads.
What?
And when I heard it, I was like, I heard it on the computer, I was working, and I was like, I expected something a little more like hard and upbeat, and I didn't get into it. And then I put it on in the car, and I had to hear it like 4 times in a row, when a song hits you like that. And it sounds kind of like, I guess you could say like, I thought the association, which is kind of like a Beach Boys kind of vibe, like from the 50s or from the early 60s. But contemporary. It's not like trying to be something old. Anyway, album's out Friday. Check it out. Parquet Courts, Mardi Gras Beads. Anyone else?
I'm listening to a lot of stuff.
Okay.
But I don't even know.
Just one, Anna.
Okay,
Just
fine,
one.
just one. I don't know if I put this one earlier this year. It's Harvest Moon, but it's a Neil Young song. But it was by a band called Poolside, and it's like dancey. It was cool. Did I ever do that? You might know.
Think you might have.
Whatever. So now I'm going to suggest that we listen to Neil Young, the original version.
Ooh.
Because I heard it in the middle of a movie I was watching last night. So, yeah, I'll suggest the cover and then the original. That's me. That's it.
Oh, I'm going to go with the Rolling Stones. Can't always get what you want this week.
Oh.
Is that how you're feeling?
Yeah, I've always loved that song. I think it's a pretty good
good.
message, and I just, I'm a big fan. Sorry, I don't have much to extrapolate off of that.
No worries.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Joe Baton. And it's going to be Subway Joe is the song. And it's from the 60s, and it's from New York, and it's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
that's about it.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, well, that's what you're listening to. Check those songs out. Check out the radio next week. Actually, if you get close to the yacht club, it's still on, which is crazy to me because we turned it on and left it on a month ago, and it's just rocking and rolling. All that said, let's get to what we're here to talk about, the Talk O Town.
Your favorite part.
Definitely.
That's Rafa's favorite part.
Okay, so let me tell you guys what happened this week. On Thursday, or I think it was either Thursday or Friday. There was an accident on right in front of the Village Green on the Crandon. A girl was crossing the road. This is from what I understand. It's still kind of word of mouth how this happens, but there was an accident with a motorcycle and a girl crossing the road. A motorcycle hit her, okay? The yellow lights were flashing, and from what I understand, the people were stopped waiting for her to cross, and this guy on his motorcycle riding tandem comes through the bike lane. Because all the cars are stopped, he's like, "Oh, I'm slick. I'm gonna pass everybody."
My Lord!
And then he goes through and he hits the girl as she's crossing on her bike. Okay, so like kind of sneaks out of nowhere and nobody's
done goofed.
Yeah,
Not good, man.
and so they all fly into the bushes and all this stuff, and it looked really bad.
The pictures look pretty bad.
Yeah, and then she had to have surgery, and the other two were in. They had to. Everybody had to go to the hospital. Everybody's okay, from what I understand, but so. That on Friday, I get invited to a group chat of like a bazillion Key Biscayers. Like, what are we gonna do?
Hold on, you actually joined the chat.
Wait, the one
Yes.
that Manny sent to us?
Was it the one that Manny sent?
That's what he's referring to.
That was later. I got in
Who
before
invited you to this?
Theo, I think. And so they were already like, they were going nuts.
They're
okay?
gonna lynch somebody.
Exactly.
The
So I had a couple things to talk about because in the chat, like I said a couple things, but it didn't matter.
It was more for you to
there's
read the people.
too many people in there talking. They've come to a certain conclusion, which is what they want is like red lights instead of yellow lights. Okay, because they're like it's just too dangerous, and nobody knows the actual law, and blah blah blah, and it's just
People
like
do this. People do. The cars stop. That was a very freak accident. That a motorcycle did that, and the girl happened to be crossing. No,
yeah, that's
Sorry,
what
go ahead.
a bunch of people were saying. A few voices. I'll give it up to Billy Kimball, who's like that guy for mayor, because everything he said in that chat was like, he was like, why don't we wait to see if this is actually like a fluke occurrence or it's something that's like actually going to happen. For all we know, we have a really low rate of accidents on this street, but we don't know because we don't have the data. And there's people are just freaking out because they heard about this. There's always going to be accidents. Some people were. There's this one woman who was proposing a overpass, like at basically everything. She's like, we can't take anything. We gotta put an overpass.
People need to go to New York and spend a weekend there and come back with a different point of view. What the hell?
In New York, I feel like
overpass.
stop,
That's
right?
too much. That's too much.
Well, I think everybody agrees on that point, but
Because it wasn't just one overpass. It's like an overpass at every crosswalk.
that's absurd.
and people are
That's
only going to
funny.
use it if it's convenient, so you would need multiple of them, right? Because
Yeah.
people are still jaywalking, not using those super convenient blinky light crosswalks. In this instance, that is, like you say, kind of not freak, but obviously the motorcyclist was totally at fault there, and somebody even crossing the crosswalk there doing their due diligence, seeing lanes stacked, meaning there's people stopped. I mean, really, they're totally the victim. They're totally the victim there. And I made the assumption when I heard about this that it was the typical somebody just assuming that because the lights were blinking, they do have the right of way, that they were walking and they got greased
I thought
that
the
way.
same thing, Gannon.
This guy apparently shot out in a motorcycle. A red light would help stop that probably because a motorcycle is less likely to just breeze
run a red
through
light,
a red
right?
light. Less likely. But I still think that this raises an important point that those things are confusing for everybody involved.
So
Like I'm 15 feet away from that thing. It starts blinking and somebody's like already walking across the way. I need to keep going because I have momentum. I'm not going to come to a screeching halt.
I do,
and it's to me like I really don't know what the law is there. I'm sure it's like stop within a reasonable
Is it
distance
a
and yada yada yada.
suggestion? Yeah.
So one of the things that kept happening in this chat is that a lot of people had a lot of suggestions, and they were getting mad at how drivers were driving, but they didn't actually know how this thing works. So they were getting mad at the wrong reasons. So because I know we have some crack Key Biscayne drivers in here.
I stopped.
Don't look at me, Annie.
I was actually thinking about both of you guys. Okay? I'm going to ask you guys what you do at this thing. Okay? What you're supposed to do. Okay? So
lay it out.
Okay, lay it out for you. You are coming on the thing and you see it flashing, but you don't see any people. What do you do?
I go.
If I don't
check
see
for
anybody
people.
and it's flashing, I go.
Me too.
But you check?
I
for-
check.
check.
Of course
You
you check.
check and you go.
Yeah.
Okay. A person is walking. They've already passed your lane.
I go.
What do you do?
If they've already passed, I go.
Okay.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
A person is walking on the other side of Crandon, and you are like in the farthest lane to them, and they're only in the first lane on the other side.
I stop.
Wait.
I stop and wait
He's
for them
saying
to
that
cross.
you can cross before impeding
yeah,
them.
no, it depends how fast I'm going.
I stop.
I don't. I usually go if I see they haven't reached the median yet, then I keep going. Once they reach that middle grassy, I'm going to stop, obviously.
You guys are ace Key Biscayne drivers. Congratulations.
There you
guys
go.
got them all right. Like, basically, you can go on the... Oh, you are a little more
stops.
cautious.
He's a little more
stop.
cautious.
You basically... It's a yield sign. And
It's
you...
a suggestion.
You can't suggest and just knock them out, the guy.
I'm joking.
That was a good suggestion.
Yeah.
No. I think listen.
Thanks for the suggestion,
You have to
but...
be logical and be aware of what's going on. But obviously, if the person's not even on the middle yet, just keep going.
So in this chat, there's a lot of people who are really mad when people, just because it's flashing, don't come to a complete stop and wait it out the whole time.
Oh, I hate that too. But I'm gonna
Which is
be calm
not
about
the
it.
law. Like, the law says you are supposed to yield, basically, to this thing. So it's like, if someone's in the crosswalk, you let them pass, or if they're like close enough to your car that it's going to be a thing, you do it too.
Wait, so people were even after the accident, people were complaining on the other end. They're complaining that people don't drive through the yellow.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh. we got somebody here, yeah.
It's our friend Manny.
Wait. Oh, no. How do I do this? We got a caller on the line. Give me a second, buddy, because I can't get you on speaker here. Okay. Got our good friend Manny, missing you here on the show. How you doing?
It's Manny. How you doing? I'm not a legacy member, but I wanted to call in anyway.
You are a legacy.
I'm not.
You are,
I knew that was coming. I felt it.
I know I'm not, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. But are you still talking about the crosswalk rules? And are you still talking about that? Is there a lag?
No, you got it. Yeah.
Okay. You guys failed. Anna, you failed.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry. I mean, listen, man. That thing's flashing yellow. You got to stop.
I knew that.
Yeah, you're wrong about the law, though.
I know about the law. Okay, if it's flashing yellow and you don't see anyone there, maybe they've already passed or not. But if you see somebody coming and you're in front of them as a car, I mean, you've got to stop. You've got to stop.
If they're on
I think if they're all the way on the other side, you don't have to. I mean, you have to yield, but you don't have to.
Okay. Let me ask you this. As a community, and the kind of culture we want on our roads.
That's different. That's very different. That's very different.
I know, but that's my question to the panel.
That's very different.
Let him say the question. Let him say the question.
But that's what I was bringing up right now. It's funny that people were talking about the other side. Like, dude, we want to be more cautious, is what I was about
It's
to
like,
say.
people want everybody to stop like it's a red light. But that's not what it is right now. And I personally think it just makes things more dangerous because if everybody comes to a stop and people get anxious, then they run past the side and they hit things.
people.
Well, that's not really true. But if people are doing the wrong thing, it gets people anxious. You know what I mean?
One
Like
guy
not
in the
turning red
chat
on red.
commented that he pulls up and cuts diagonally into both lanes to make sure that everyone's stopping in his car.
That's
Oh,
great.
that's hilarious.
And I had a response teed up, and I was like, I can't call this guy out with what was now 265 people on this chat.
Yeah. I think that's awesome. I mean, look,
I had
like
to
you
hit him with
said,
a sidebar. I had to hit him with a sidebar, like, buddy, that is dangerous and reckless. Please don't do that. And it's against the law.
of course. So that's really the problem. What I was going to get at here is that it's just confusing for everybody because nobody knows how to drive.
Apparently, Jonathan and
You're
I
right,
do.
and that's the takeaway from this. So I think that's a good exercise.
I think
Everyone has different opinions. Every situation is different.
Yes.
You know, you may see somebody there, but you don't know if behind them some guy's coming on his bike, hauling ass, and he sees those yellow lights already activated, and he just bypasses that guy walking and he flies to the street.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So a lot of it that I didn't see mentioned as well on that chat before I left. I had to bail on that chat because it was just too much.
Yeah, it was really too much.
And it was unproductive. You're right, Billy Kimball was the voice of reason.
Yeah.
But a lot of what I didn't see was how people have a false sense of security. And this little girl did not. This little girl was doing all the right
I was
things.
gonna say that.
She was wearing a helmet. She was crossing with other people. She had just about made it to the sidewalk.
Yeah,
so
she-
she
and
was
she was
doing the
on
right
bike.
thing. But
So-
a lot of people have a false sense of security.
So G-Man has said that like over and over again when we've talked about these things, and he even like if you see all the cars stopped, I mean, you can only assume that all the cars are stopped. You know what I mean? If every lane is stopped, then that's as much as you can assume. You're not going to think someone's going to snake by in the bike lane.
Yeah. So I'm going to let you go with just one more comment. I think one thing that these traffic calming devices do. Oh, I just said do. I think that they increase the sense of awareness for people to always, when I see those things flashing, all of a sudden I scan left, I scan right, I look in front of me, I look in my rear view.
Yeah.
So I have greater awareness of my surroundings, and that's the opposite of distracted driving, which is another topic. So whatever these traffic calming devices do, pro or con, that's a real benefit. So, all right. I miss you guys.
Hey,
Thank you, Manny.
See you later, Manny.
Take care, man.
Fun over there.
Miss
Thank
you.
Thank you for the call.
All right, see you. Bye.
Right. So, what he's saying is like it's something that I was going to get to. Basically, is that the people on this island and the people who drive through this island, they don't get what yellow light means, and that's a fault of like not knowing how to drive, basically.
They also don't know that the left lane is for going fast.
But it's also like I think it is not really clear to me, and it never really has been, what those lights exactly mean. And really, what you're telling me is that crosswalk is just a crosswalk like any other that happens to have blinky lights to let you know that something's
It
happening.
is.
Yes,
It's a yield.
You know what I mean?
It's a-
The lights
it's a
have
yield
no
to
real
pedestrian.
bearing on anything
No.
because
No,
you can go
it's-
through them as long as you don't see anybody there.
It's a yield
right?
to pedestrian. It's
Yes.
like it's in
Yeah.
addition to the
So
yellow
it's just the
line.
worst kind of gray area for traffic situations.
It's a stopgap solution for the fact that people in Miami don't know how to drive, so they don't respect crosswalks and the fact that pedestrians have the right of way. They don't look when they cross a crosswalk. They don't
Right.
even check if there's a pedestrian there, and they don't know how yellow lights work, which is another problem. How many times have you guys been at a blinking yellow light, like
The one in front of Ocean Club and Ace Hardware.
and people stop
Jesus.
completely?
Yeah, that
and people
one's-
stop completely
Right, they
because
don't-
they see somebody coming from the other side
Yeah.
who has a red light,
Sure.
but they yield to them, and then they cause a mess right
Yeah.
there. You know?
Right, so
Yeah.
the root of the problem is people not being educated, but also a big part of the problem is people not being aware of the environment they're in. When was the last time you heard about somebody getting killed at the airport? And the airport is a million different crosswalks and a million different people walking by, but everybody who's driving through there for the most part is on high alert of pedestrians, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's still pretty freaking unclear. I'm
Yeah.
slowing down and I'm, got my head on a swivel looking for anybody
Sure.
who might be crossing. Here, you're assuming that nobody's crossing because it's really not that high frequency of an event compared
I
to
think-
New York City, for example. You know what I mean? You're just like driving. We're used to highway here, and you're like coming into the village. Maybe you're not familiar with how things are, and that light is so ambiguous. Like, just put a button with a red light. That way, people compute.
That's what-
Most people, if it's 2:30 in the morning and there's 0 people on the streets, if they see a red light, they'll
stop.
stop and they'll just wait there for nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't even go through because they're like, well, I can't run a red light. But this
Yeah.
stupid blinking thing, I breeze through that thing all the time if I don't see anybody. It's like,
Yeah.
what is this stupid thing? You know?
But then
and-
if you put a red one and the person takes, 2 seconds to cross, but the blinky light takes a full 30 seconds.
Right.
We'll
It should.
stop
In
the
theory,
train
the
all
blinky is
day.
more. In theory, the blinky is more efficient because it allows you some discretion as a driver.
Yeah.
But it's been shown that people can't be trusted without discretion in this situation.
I mean,
It's got to be red or nothing. You
Yeah,
can't give the people the
I think
chance.
the yellow works. I think this was a really crazy freak accident.
No, it isn't at all.
Because
I've
of it.
almost run over people because it's like so, and the whole crosswalk
Wishy-washy.
thing of just like, I see people on the side of the road in Miami all the time. It's like, so I'm supposed to yield to you. Are you making the body language that indicates to
Are
me
you
you're trying to
gonna
cross, or you're just
go?
sitting on the corner? Like it's
People in
very.
Miami also don't know how to cross the street. That's another problem.
That's a thing of the driving culture because
Sure. Right. But
there's places where they stop automatically if you're in a
sure. It's a thing of the driving culture, and Manny was like, "We just should change the culture," and it's like, well, that's nice, but we need to address the problem
red
and
lights.
solve it. You know what I mean? Like I
proposing.
support changing the culture. That's something that takes time and probably will never happen.
So I would
but I support
love-
that movement. But you need to take concrete action and be like, this is how we're going to solve this problem. We're not going to change the way every idiot who drives right now. You know what I mean?
So these people are going to go to the village and call for red lights at the crosswalks, and they're going to call for a very, very proactive policing, which they are going like real hard on the police for not being there all the time.
So the police would have not been able to stop this accident if the motorcycle came from way behind.
Right, but we're talking about changing the culture and people being like, oh man, this when I drive down to the Keys, I know that they're popping people for speeding there. Like in Miami, please.
So
Nobody
somebody
gets stopped.
mentioned that in the
Be aware.
chat. Somebody mentioned that in the chat that like there's certain cities in Florida that if you are a commuter there or whatever, people know it's like this is like watch out with the cops here. They're gonna pull you over no matter what. And that's what people were like clamoring for.
That's
the
also
thing.
desagradável. How do you say that in English?
Yeah.
Disagreeable,
Unpleasant.
unpleasant to
Yeah.
like live in a place where it's like, you know.
Yeah. So, but that's what they're going to advocate for. So a little bit of that.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks. 265 people in a group chat freaking out.
Yeah. So yeah, they're like saying there's not enough police presence, which gets me to the next thing we're going to talk about real quick.
Yes. I love this part.
What is it?
What is it?
Oh, okay. So, so this kid was beaten up at CVS, and then all the parents like wigged out, and then
Do you know the story?
I know some of the story, so it's a little bit of hearsay on my part, so I apologize for that. But here's what's going on. This kid's being bullied, apparently by other key kids. I asked if it was like off the key kids or what up. Nah. By other key kids. There's some video that they took of him, like on his knees, begging for his life while these guys are like, we're going to kill you with that. And then like on like last week or 2 weeks ago, so they like knocked him out at in front of the CVS, and he like banged his head on the floor and
Poor
bleeding
kid.
everywhere.
Wow.
And then somebody offered to call the cops, and he was like, no, it's only going to make it worse.
Aw.
Yeah. And so now
He's right though, right?
these
That's the
parents,
worst.
I'm not in this chat, but from what I understand, these parents are like, where's the police again? They're like, more police! Like, what's going on, you know? And so I was having this discussion with somebody who was telling me about this, and I was like, what I really wanted to talk about is, do we think that the kids are worse now than they were in our day?
No.
And I was like, no.
No. I don't
Definitely
think so.
not. Like the amount of fights and amount of
There's
things.
just social media now, and people are videoing it while it happens. So
And we don't know what the story is with that or the context or anything
Yeah.
like that. We can't just assume by hearing what you said that this kid is the total, we know the whole picture.
Of course not.
Like what's going,
It's a bullying situation, from what I understand.
Bullying
Is a kid a
I mean, there's no doubt
nerd?
about that.
Is a kid a nerd?
I mean,
Griff would have been beating his ass.
Donovan is a bully,
Back in the
bro.
day.
Donovan's a bully.
but also, like, what is he doing? Like, at school, it's one thing, but he's hanging out with other people at CVS. Like, what's he hanging out with this group of kids? You know what I mean? Like, there's things that
Yeah,
I
we
want to
don't
know
know.
about that story, the context, how it came to be. You know what I mean? If it's at school, it's like, all right, everybody's required to go to school, so now he's there and he's getting bullied.
Well,
know
don't
what I
you
mean?
remember, like, back in the day when, like certain crews on the key would run into other crews on the key, and then people would get all beat up and stuff?
I mean, they probably, the Midside Kings, of course. They ruled the streets with an iron fist for years.
The one thing is for sure, we don't know, like you said, we don't know the story. Bullies suck, man. And violence is not the answer, kids listening.
I mean, it's some little punk kids, I bet. I mean, but do you guys think, I mean, I guess you guys don't know. I wish, now we're missing Manny for this. Does he think that the kids are worse today than they were? One thing they told me about, the parents I was talking to, was they said, oh, but now there's like heroin out there and stuff like that, which wasn't around when you guys were out there.
Yeah, what?
And I agree with that. Like, there wasn't an epidemic. It wasn't likely that your Gulliver kid was going to get into heroin.
Yeah, there was no ODs.
No.
Or Columbus
There was just a
kid
bunch
or
of
anything
cocaine.
like that. Yeah, there was a bunch of pills and blow.
There was a
and
bunch of
fights.
pills.
Bunch of
Yeah.
booze.
A
So
bunch
much
of pills,
fights,
bro.
man. The amount of fighting
We
at
used
the
to go.
things.
We used to. People say, "Oh, there's gonna be a fight on the corner of da-di-da-di-da, like in the Grove." Do you remember? And we'd all show up with our cars to go watch the fight. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
What was that park? The Gables or the Grove? Whatever. Anyway.
it's a lot of them.
I think, it's my opinion that these rich people's kids are the worst of them all. And that was my experience in high school, too.
Yeah?
Yeah, going to
Of
Gable
bullies?
is like you have the whole spectrum of people there. And by far the worst were these spoiled brats from the Key that like had access to all types of prescription drugs and were thinking it was like cool or gangster to get in like stage fights that would happen all the time. Like they had some unresolved
absolutely
issues.
right, you know that.
Like
Yeah,
the
of course.
normal
Absolutely.
like working class kids were like really, in my opinion, more mellow than anything we ever saw on the Key from all
Yeah.
these. I don't know if it's because their parents weren't around or what, but I was really caught off guard in high school by the violence, the drugs, but it was real, you know. So I would never say these kids are like, oh, we were way more wholesome. At least not our generation, because there was some bad stuff happening. And it was all kids that were super privileged.
That's what I'm
the main
saying.
instigators.
I'm saying that now, like the fact that there's one kid being bullied and that's the only. I mean,
How old are these kids, by the way? Is it high school or is it like they're 7 or something? You know, what is it?
Sounds like middle school.
yeah, it's like middle school,
7th,
end
8th
of-
grade probably.
yeah.
I mean, that shit happens, man. It sucks. I'm not cool with it. I never bullied.
Welcome to growing up.
But it happens. It's not like it's happening. I don't see it happening more now. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't really know. Again, Manny,
Anyway,
I'm in handy right now.
I don't think we need here's what you really don't want is the police to get involved with your kid when these things are happening, because then suddenly they're going to juvie and all this stuff, and that's the last thing you want, because that's a real nightmare. Okay, no segue on this one. Oh, there's some in here. No segue here.
Never mind.
But I will say that, he's got Coronas, yeah. So I heard this weekend there was a petition going and all this stuff that they're closing the farmers market
That's whack.
at the church.
So who's behind the movement?
Okay.
The same parent chat? I'm joking. I'm joking.
So I got some good news. They're not closing it down officially.
Good.
Like they got their permits and they got all their things sorted out. But apparently they were hassling the church because somebody got mad, you know. Somebody who had a bone to pick apparently with somebody there. Yeah.
Beat him up. Call the cops.
And they tried to get it shut down. And so there was like speculation, maybe it's the restaurants, maybe it's like somebody, you know, some place on the Key that doesn't want to have to compete with these guys, and why are they allowed to do like food business when we have to have a business license and whatever. Anyway, they're getting the permits and they are going to be all set to do this properly. And this Saturday or whenever they do it, it's going to be back on. So anybody who's worried about that, do not worry. Everything is fixed. I don't know the exact details. I heard some speculation, but I'm not going to say it because it's just speculation.
Just say it. Our whole
Just
show
say it.
has been speculation.
No, because the other thing
say it.
no. I'm not
Who's
going
a
to call
guy
it. I'm
or
not
a
going
girl
to.
that had a problem
I'm not going to call it
with some guy
no, because-
selling hummus out of a tent?
No.
It was a Chamber of Commerce cartel on the Key. They were trying to shut them down.
Yes, it was a little bit of that. It was a little bit of that. It was a little bit of.
Some guy selling mangoes. Oh my God, he's gonna hurt my restaurant business.
Well, there was a food truck out there too that sold.
Come on,
That
guys.
sold.
Walk for 2 hours on a Saturday.
No, it sold meat in meat, come get your meat here, like if we're better than like the supermarket and all this stuff.
Live in
That could have
America.
been something to do with it, but I don't know. Anyway, it's all fixed. They got their permits. It's back. Your petition made a difference.
Hooray.
It finally made a difference. Finally, last little thing here. License plate readers coming to the entrance of the Key. Every time you go by, they're going to scan your little license plate, and they're going to be like, is this guy a perp or is this guy not a perp? And so we don't have any details on exactly what they're going to be. The way it's going to work is your car goes by. If your car is some kind of stolen car or something illegal with your plates, like anything that your car comes up on, it automatically takes your plates, it pings a database of known cars involved in crimes, okay? And then if it hits a match, it sends it to the police station. Hey, there's a
Car on the southbound lane.
There's a Chevy Colorado or whatever it is.
Southbound lane.
That's
coming into the
That's
key.
Ponyboy Griff.
Yeah.
Jumping Johnny.
And he's coming in, and he's got an expired tag, and they're going to bust him.
That sucks.
And then they come out after you. Now, here's the thing. I asked, but I didn't ask the cops. I asked just somebody who might be in the know, and he wasn't so in the know. Like, would they really come after you for an expired tag?
I doubt it, because they would have a field day with all the general contractors and stuff.
Okay, so apparently, because the police culture on the Key would probably not want that, would not want to make everybody feel like every little thing is going to get you busted, they're not going to do that. But if you did steal a car or something like that, or a hit and run, and your name is out, if your thing is out there, it will ping them, and it'll be like, beep, beep. And then they'll go and bust.
So
and
is this
bust
on
you.
the same system with SunPass? Are they just utilizing that?
No, they get a third-party
Yeah,
contractor, and this is something that I can't get any info on because nobody asks the right questions. It's like, who owns the data of like everybody coming
that's
in,
the thing,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And who has access to it, you know? Can anybody just be like, hey, let me see the records of everybody who came
what
into the Key,
time?
at what time, blah, blah, blah.
Came in.
You know, it's suddenly like, got
Big
good,
brother.
good, what's it called? You know, you're having an affair. Oh, now you got caught.
Have a seat over there.
Exactly. So be on the lookout for Griff's expired tag. No, be on the lookout for these. Yes, watch
Rent a
out
car.
because there will be a permanent record of every time you come in and out of the Key. No, just come into the Key. There will be a permanent record. They haven't bought the thing yet. They're going for the bids already. We don't know the details of where these license plate numbers end up.
I have a question. Who has renewed their C-Pass in the last year?
I have.
I haven't. Have you, Rafa?
Wait, what? Have I? I don't know. Yes, I have. I went to the office and I gave them money.
I haven't done it like in a year.
I did
I'm
it
so
in
screwed,
the
but
But
trailer.
it's a SunPass.
Yeah,
But you have to.
C-Pass gets a discount.
I know,
Proof of
but
residency.
you would already notice it because every time you hit it, you're
You
hitting
might get in the
SunPass.
mail like in a month, like $20 billion of.
You have a recurring payment going.
Yeah.
But you still need to renew it once a year. You still need to prove residency every year.
No, I'm saying like
Right.
he's got a recurring payment of like he's not watching the fact that SunPass is billing him every time he goes through.
Exactly. So it hurts.
Yeah. So you're screwed.
Well, I just got to go to the office and sort it out.
Yeah, you do.
It's the thing I love about America. You can sort things out.
Sort it out. I have a question. now
Plus,
that
we're
on
gonna
this
find out
topic.
about your little boyfriend.
Okay. Okay.
Are you? Is he bullying you? Is he bullying you?
Gotta watch out with CVS.
Call the
Okay.
police.
I have a question because we're on that topic because it'll help me out. Maybe it'll help someone else out. So you know how your license plate, you renew the registration every year, you get the sticker, but after like 10 years with the same plate, they give you a new one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just got a new one.
Oh.
Yeah. Do I need to like update my SunPass with the new license plate? Yes, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah, probably.
So now I need to go to the trailer office. Maybe you could ask.
No, you don't. You just go online and do
Or
it.
online?
Yeah.
Okay.
Update it. Super easy.
You want me to send the message to the purple trailer?
You give her
The
a letter.
only reason you need to go to that office is to show your proof of residency so
Yeah.
you get the discount. But other than that, everything on SunPass is...
Online.
So you switch your license plate, huh? That's a good way not to get caught by the license plate
I
reader.
know. Well, guys, I haven't put it up yet because you guys, I won't give you the full license plate because we have many listeners and I don't want people stalking me. But it's something FU no something. So it's like 8 FU and 06. So it's like FU no when I cut people off.
Good thing we're not like on Twitch or something, you know? Something would happen. Someone to get raided or
What's
something.
Switch?
A live streaming thing. All right, let's move on to
Whatever,
the best
FU no.
part. We're bringing it back after all these years. I got the police blotter here.
This is what I meant.
We've got
Yay.
police reports from starting from March 20th through April something or other.
What's happening?
Only here on Rat Radio do we have the police reports. Nobody else has got them anymore. Exclusive.
Wow.
Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Yes.
On Tuesday, March 20th, Grand Bay, a maid working heard some noise at night. She goes outside,
Hot.
turns on the light. 2 people are jumping on the trampoline. They flee the scene. They're never caught.
Oh, yeah.
The trampoline
Jumpers.
There you go. That's a good name for them. Watch out, they'll jump on your trampoline. Thursday, March 22nd. Thursday, March 22nd. Now we're going to get serious for a second. McIntyre Street. Department of Homeland Security picks up a Panamanian guy for deportation. Born 1969. What was funny is that when I read the report, the order comes directly from the White House.
Well, a directive.
Sunday, April 1st, 9:30 p.m. A scooter's on fire in the Ocean Sound parking lot. Could have been you guys.
Ponyboy Griffs?
Not me.
Jumping Johnny?
So somebody calls the cops. They come. The fire's out. No one knows how it caught fire, and nobody knows whose scooter it is.
And they don't check the cameras in Ocean Sound parking lot or something?
That was not in the report. That's it. Just somebody's scooter on fire. Was it a mad girlfriend who checked the license plate records? Nobody,
Could be.
Nobody knows. Monday, April 3rd. A maid leaves the house with $200 for the supermarket, and she never comes back. Ever.
That
She
happens.
disappears forever.
That happens a lot, by the way.
Oh,
The person hiring her calls the cops like, "Oh my God, she's gone. What's going on?
they're
She's gone."
concerned. Like, where is she? Is she okay?
That's it. Thursday, April 5th, at 3:45, a bike is stolen at the library.
Oh, lame.
But somebody saw him. Says he comes by on his own bike. He throws that bike into the bushes and grabs this little kid's bike and rides away. He's never caught. There are a lot of bike thefts on the Key, so keep your bike locked. I mean,
Are they all
keep your
just-
bike locked.
Are they all
keep
just
going.
kids messing around, or they're like
This one
legitimate?
apparently was a hobo.
Hobo?
So that one probably didn't get back. Friday, April 6th. This is even. Heather Drive reported basketball hoop stolen.
What?
Okay, like one of those outdoor ones,
Ah.
sand in it and everything
Yeah,
that you
wow.
put on your lawn. Yeah, someone stole my basketball hoop. A couple
Wow.
hours later, same person calls back. They found it on Harbor Drive, really far away, like near the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, somebody put it on the golf cart and went for a ride.
They played with it and they
Yeah,
left.
just dragged it around. Somebody tied it up and dragged it around the block. That's a weird one.
Then it's a weird
a
one.
weird
It's not a
one.
bike. It's like a basketball hoop. Okay. Saturday, April 7th. Some woman calls to report that a package has been stolen from her on Ocean Lane Drive. USPS had confirmed the delivery, and then it wasn't there anymore. What's in the package? Socks.
What?
Oh, that sucks.
April 18th. A woman receives a phone call from an attorney. The attorney says $7,000 to avoid civil court for the mental abuse and poor working conditions that your maid had to go through.
What?
Yeah.
Nothing in the report suggests that it was a real attorney, but the woman, I mean, this is the one that we just talked about, okay? The woman who was hiring the maid had the maid's passport. And she gave the passport to the police, like, hey, give this to the police, because her attorney told her, get rid of it. You shouldn't be holding on to other people's passports.
It makes you look like a slaveholder.
Exactly.
Exactly. The mental abuse.
Smart.
Smart.
$600. Yeah.
And I don't have a follow up on that. All I have is that happened.
Nothing happened.
Nothing
happened.
It probably,
Nothing happened.
well, I don't know. When I go back to check the police reports again, maybe something will have happened. But isn't that a crazy little story? Your maid runs
You
away.
hold their passport, your grocery money is still going to be there. You know, it's going to be used. If you hold their passport, they're not going to run away.
Yeah.
If your maid's
Maybe
trying to run away,
hire a
it's
maid that's not going to run away with
That's
your
exactly
$200.
what I was
I
saying,
mean,
yeah.
that must be pretty rough that it's worth them throwing the job away for $200.
Well, they
$200.
do it all the time, though.
But dude, $200, like,
For $50 bucks. they'll
That's
do it for
because
$100.
people on the Key like hire these nannies for like I don't even know how much that are totally illegal, and they're basically taking advantage of that fact. Is that incorrect? Is that not why they're
I
holding
don't know.
their
From what
passports?
I know that
for $200.
Maids
They're
No, I'm
like
just
paid-
saying like that
Yeah.
situation is pretty
Yeah, of
much
course,
like
I'm sure.
I don't want to call it indentured servitude, but
Sure.
the maid definitely.
from what I know,
is,
maids get paid pretty well on Key Biscayne.
That's what I
based on the
understand, too.
unionized meetings that they have at the playground
They
and
do.
equality. I could tell they get paid pretty well weekly.
They should probably put in their contract that their employer can't hold on to their passport. That's pretty.
There are some people who import their maids for the allowed visa time, and then they send them back. And then I don't know if there was so it's like, I know that I'm from whatever country. I bring 2 maids with me. They work with me for whatever the legal time is that they can stay here, and then they go back. And so they make a little bit more than they would over there, and they take it all back. Now, at the same time, there was a couple in the Ocean Club that was keeping their maid in horrible conditions, and she eventually escaped. And it was like the same thing. They had brought her over to work, but then they treated her horribly, and they held on to her passport and all that stuff, and they kept her in a closet.
Super illegal.
Dude, that's slavery, man. That's absurd.
That's the new kind of slavery.
That's crazy.
I remember when I lived on West Enid, I backed into one of the cars that one of these maids was driving, and I guess it was, owned by whoever was her manager, I guess we'll call it. And this woman, it wasn't even her car, but she was like, it was like her dog just died. She was flipping out about, like, I just dented the car. I'm like, I'll take care of it. Don't worry. It's not a big deal. Like, it's my fault. And she was so deathly scared of something, you know? Yeah, I was like, something's not right here. Why is she so scared of what's going to happen because of this? It just made me think a little bit, like, what's going on behind the scenes there. I drove the car to the Stoner's body shop and had it all fixed and everything, no questions asked, but it was like interesting. Just, yeah,
well, that goes on the key.
Sure. And what you just said is, like, basically they bring them over as, like, visitors. Obviously they're not getting paid, on the books. They're just visitors that are working for them, so they're totally at their, they have total control over them, right?
Yep.
So, bad situation.
I will check these things again soon, and maybe there's a follow-up, maybe we get a little...
maybe.
So I read this.
Maybe we should do a little inside investigation and hire our own maid.
In the maid culture? Should. Jonathan, join the union. Join the union at the playground.
It's tough out there.
Anna, go ahead.
No, I read this article recently about, it wasn't in, excuse me.
That's rude.
It wasn't about the key, but it made me think about the key and the USPS package. Did you read it in the New Yorker like a week ago? How people are sticking in like a plastic bottle of Coke or whatever with like goo and like glue on the outside and like tying a string and dipping it into the mailbox and picking the mail out
to
get like checks and stuff that are being sent to like from grandma or something, or to even pay the bills. And they use like a crazy acetone to remove the ink and then like write themselves checks, whatever. So it's become a problem like throughout the country. It's like this whole corrupt USPS situation, and it's all with like guys in a shoestring and the freaking plastic bottle, right?
That is crazy.
So they're changing the mailboxes through. I mean, I know they've started in New York. I don't know where else they're going to do it soon. So that it's only a little slit, so that you don't open the little door, like, the diagonal door to stick in mail, so that people can't go in there and grab it. And when I read the article, I was thinking to myself, how nice to live in the Keys, so I don't have to worry about something like that.
Somebody's stealing the mail.
But people are stealing packages with socks in them, apparently.
Well,
that's the point of my story.
One thing I keep seeing is the videos of, because a lot of people now have video cameras on the front of their houses.
They do?
Yeah.
A lot of houses on Cuba Street have cameras.
Yeah.
I've never known.
So watch out when you do those 3 o'clock.
Oh, that was one of the police reports I didn't put in.
Oh, a police report. Male and female, 3 in the morning. Taking pictures.
No, one of them was really funny. It wasn't funny at all. It was like a burglary. Some guy broke into a house, and then they managed to get like 3 people's home, like the neighbors. The 3 of them had like cameras outside, and they didn't get much, but I was just like, wow, 3 people have cameras outside.
I was feeling
but with
weird,
those
and
things,
I was like, nice,
you keep seeing on the internet more videos of people getting their packages stolen, of like
you see
people
a
just
lot.
cruising the street and just steal a package off the front porch.
Wow.
Well, they're starting that weird Amazon thing, no, where you get delivery like in your house. Like I don't know how it works, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
mailman can go in your house. That's creepy.
I've seen that too. Yeah, they have it's a new thing that they want to offer, which
Yeah,
is creepy,
it's
but
creepy.
it's to solve that problem. Is basically you get like a smart lock,
Yeah.
and they have a code that like recycles every time or something like that. It's a
Right.
smart way to do
Super
it, so
weird.
that like the guy,
I think it's weird.
if the same guy comes back the next day, it won't unlock. But
Right.
basically, they can open your door to throw the package in.
I'll take my chances with the package outside. Thanks.
I don't know. I like that.
Yeah?
I mean, people are gonna break into your house no matter what. You know, as long as they leave the package there and it's inside, that's great.
What if you're naked there hanging out and the Amazon
the guy's
guy
gonna
comes in?
knock though. The guy's gonna knock and be like,
I think that's Anna's like fantasy. Some guy just like, hey, I have a package for you.
The other day, the guy came by to spray, and I was still in my nightgown, and I opened the door like, no, they came last week, thanks. But yeah.
oh, the exterminator.
Yeah, it's like the bold dude, and I got like all excited.
All right. That's about all we got, unless you guys want to talk about something. I got a little calendar here real quick. Saturday, June 16th, Saturday, June 16th is the Give or Take an Inch Portela Memorial Fishing Tournament.
Nice.
If you want to get in on that, I think the deadline's June 8th. I'm sure if you go to the yacht club or if you know anybody with a boat or something, you know how to get into this tournament. But if you don't, I mean, look it up. So I think the deadline's June 8th, and it's on June 16th, Saturday, June 16th, and then they have a party at the beach club, which is $40. And then Wednesday, July 4th is the 4th of July parade.
Oh my god.
So it's on a Wednesday this year.
Rafa.
Huh?
It's on a Wednesday this year.
Yes.
Kinda whack.
Which is kind of whack, but
Yeah.
it's what it is, you know. So, I mean, it depends. It kind of ruins the whole week, so it's perfect in that sense. Yeah. It's like nobody's having a productive
So
week.
I have a question for you. So are we going to fix the shirts or what are we doing for the 4th of July?
Oh, no, those are bought. Those are done.
But I'm saying that we're going to get new ones.
Roll them out the dough.
And for the listeners, the shirts came out orange and blue, Gator colors.
They're like a red-orange.
I feel like it's fine.
It definitely wasn't the red, white, and blue that Tim Stickney had in mind. But they are nice. I like the design. They look nice this year. So please buy one
Yeah.
It
or
came
two.
out brown color last year too. Are you guys using the same producers, manufacturers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rafa likes them.
Maybe next
Nice
year.
guy,
find
too.
one.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the second annual Key Rat Ultimate Beach Tournament happening
Oh.
very soon.
Give us the details. Or
Yeah, they're still pretty iffy. Last year it started on June 8th.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, so we're getting there, and that gets played right out in front of what's that apartment building just south of Granite?
Commodore?
Yeah, right in front of Commodore on that piece of
Nice.
sand there.
It's nice.
This
Yeah.
is the Ultimate Frisbee Tournament. A beach version in the
beach.
sand. A little tougher
Yeah.
on the
Yeah,
calves.
this is Kamish's real passion project. The beach is so much fun.
Kamish,
Yeah.
this weekend I was.
Thanks for properly addressing me, by the way.
You're welcome. I was walking in. My brother lives in this neighborhood in Brooklyn. There's a beautiful park, Prospect Park. It's massive. And we were taking a walk one day, and the sun was coming down, and I saw these guys playing frisbee, and I was like, these guys ain't got shit on my friends on the
Yeah.
key. These guys look like losers. These guys on the key would beat them. And then I got all like poetic, and I was like, my friends are shirtless and they're gods in the water, throwing the frisbee
Poetic.
on the sunrise. And my brother was like, whoa, what's going on? And I was like, yeah. And I was picturing you guys like frolicking on a sandbar, like in the water,
Sure.
throwing the frisbee. And I thought of you guys, yeah.
Ready to deliver the package. Just give,
Yes.
just give us the code.
Yes, sir.
Just give us a
I will
code.
give you the code.
Where are we?
That was awesome.
Well, it is a pretty special thing to be able to do out on the beach
is.
there. There's one that people play in Miami Beach, but we all know that the beach out here is, is the best one in Miami. It's exclusive. It's pretty. And I hope everybody makes it out there. Because honestly, I do it for the happy hour. To get people out there on the beach afterwards and having a beer is the best part of the whole thing.
Oh, it's going to be it's afternoons for the tournament.
It's a working man's thing. It's afternoon. Last year it was Thursdays. I'll probably stick with Thursdays.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Very cool. So if you're into ultimate frisbee, stay tuned to this station
Drinking on the beach.
where you might hear about June 8th around then. This tournament, if you want to get on a team, there's a draft and everything, right? Or do they come with their teams
last
formed?
year was the first year and we did a very informal, I think we got together, but we didn't make a big deal out of it. I might, kind of have a little thing at my place to, make a little bit of an event out of the draft. But there's a lot of people who just aren't into the beach.
That's good.
Yeah, no, it is. A lot of people I guess it's too strenuous for them. I don't know. I love it because it's the one place you can dive and you can cut because the beach is forgiving, so you can actually plant and have a little bit of give rather than just like plant and then your knee is gone. So I'm a big fan. And we play in the mornings when we can, but yeah. I know nobody in this room really plays, but...
Nope.
We like watching.
But we like to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like to watch and have beers.
Well, Derek Weaver's in there. I think he's in... Oh, and Chris is in great shape this season. Oh, he got like a tan on his chest somehow.
He has a really good torso.
So he's looking good.
Color.
What other kind of talent?
Chris has really good color.
What other talent we got out there for you?
Is Grant playing?
Grant, he's going to be out. He'll be out there. Yes,
okay.
He'll be out there. So
okay.
I know he's got that kind of like the meek look that some might cater to
Grant's
some.
a handsome man.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since
Ian.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
you told me.
Yes, he might preach to you about renewable this and that.
That's good.
Exactly. Oh, that probably is right up your alley. So Ian will be out there. Yeah.
So summer's coming around the corner. What are we gonna do for the 4th of July float?
Oh, I like that idea. Like,
so anybody that has ideas,
a big frisbee.
We want to win it this year because we got robbed last year. So
right, but we've already learned that trying hard is not our angle.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
Creativity. Well, we won by throwing a bunch of palm fronds on a platform
on an
drinking beer. That's how I made money. All the good ideas. Like last year, I liked that float last year more than any. It was it was an homage. It was well executed. It was
absolutely.
Let me tell the people listening that it's Monday.
The 16th, 15th.
May 14th.
May 14th. You're listening to the No One's Listening show, episode 109. And one thing we're talking about right now, which is like the 4th of... Oh, well, I'll get to that in a second. 4th of July parade. There is a what's it called? A contest to win best homemade float, okay? And we do it every year, but it's open to anybody. So if you're listening, you make a float, you can win big. There's $1,500 on the line, and if you get best golf cart, it's $500. But if your golf cart is even better than the best float, then you get the $1,500.
What?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
So then we got to step up our game.
Wow. What do you mean? Our game is already like.
Well, we got to have a golf cart and a float, so we secure the win.
Yes.
But for those people that don't know, it costs nothing to join.
Nothing. Zero. Nothing. It's free. Okay? All you got to do is do something patriotic or not even. Whatever you want to do. Get it in there. And you could win $1,500 and you have the best time. It's so much more fun to ride in the parade than to watch the parade. No doubt.
Should do a scooter crew.
No.
Scooter crew.
I want to do a scooter crew.
Your scooter doesn't work. Anna.
Sometimes it does.
It just burned down to the ground the other day.
Scooter crew.
So do we have any ideas? I was thinking what I originally thought. So last year was pretty good. It was my idea to like 85%.
You were missing the second floor.
The second floor.
Which is a huge problem.
Well.
Because engineering-wise, the weight and the piece of wood, the pieces that we had, it's a little rough.
Yeah. Well, Rafa was going to
put a larger guy up there, it's gonna crumble.
No, you can build. I mean, you can build something tall. It's just you can't put everybody on top, but you could do it. It just take a little bit more lumber.
I want to be slapping the stoplights as we go by. Blah, blah.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
go. We can get high.
You can make like some
But
sort
slow
of.
down for the
Slapping.
yellow. We're going to slow down for the yellows, but we'll slap them as they
You can
go
make like
by.
a second floor convertible thing. You know.
I don't know.
The judges love big.
Well, we're open. Yeah, exactly. It needs to be big. It needs to be green. It needs to be people all over it, and that's our best shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds
And
good.
some of those frisbee rat hard bodies all over it, dude. I think that'll
Shirtless.
kill.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, last year we
With
had
oil.
everybody mustaches, white polos, and serving beer, and we didn't win.
That was
We were
But-
robbed.
Remember when that girl? It was one of our friends brought a friend, and she was like doing splits in the back.
yeah.
That was a few years ago.
Is that the year we won?
No,
No.
it's another year that we got robbed.
Yeah, we got
She
robbed.
was like, did a full split for the entire 4-hour ride or 2 hour. I don't know.
Multiple splits,
the thing is,
multiple times.
the thing is to remember that when we won, Nelson was not in the parade, and he does palm fronds and
And double
kids.
floor, double decker every
Well, and kids with water guns and stuff, and that captures the imagination of the judges or whatever, and they love that, and they think it, they really think it captures the spirit of the parade.
So we need children on the float.
We have had some random ass kids.
yeah, we get
We have.
thrown on
every
the float
time.
before, but I don't know.
Random
It's just
kids serving beer.
does palm fronds and tall, rickety looking things, and it's important to remember that when he wasn't there, is we won. Okay,
Yeah.
and he's probably going to be back, and we gotta
Unless
we gotta
do
one up
something.
him because he does that formula well.
Okay. Well,
And
that's
any kind of themes and everything. Last year, I was sad we lost, but I was so happy we did that float because I thought it was the greatest.
It was awesome.
I
It was
mean,
beautiful.
to be there with Gino beforehand when
Oh,
he
that
saw
was
the
great,
float, and
yeah.
we got a
Yeah.
picture with me, Derek, and Gino, and the bar was there. It was like a real Key Biscayne moment.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
proud of that. I was happy.
That was cool, man.
you
That
know
was cool.
the money, whatever, would have been really nice, but I think we're ready for another shill float to
So-
get the money.
We want money.
Yeah, so
okay, but I think we
Ideas.
could do.
we can do both.
I guess we will, since we always do this thing at the last minute. Even though last year we did do pretty well by doing it 2 weeks.
We
instead
did?
Of one
We did
week.
it really well.
Instead of 1 week, we did 2 weeks in advance.
And our
So-
host that we had last year and the year before, he's willing to have us again.
really,
I
You talked
spoke to him, and he said, "You guys
Good.
are more than welcome." So thank you very much.
That's great. So, anyway, if you're out there listening, make a float, make something. Golf cart, even a decorated golf cart or a bike troop can win $500. I mean, and that's not going to cost you much. You go on Amazon, you figure something out, you do something good.
Scooter crew.
Yeah, scooter crew or whatever you want to
It's
do.
like me by myself.
And it's so much more fun to go through the parades than to watch it. I
fun.
cannot tell you guys how much more fun it is. It's cool to watch, but if you set it up right, you get to watch the whole thing on the back end, and then when you go through, it's so much better.
Is this your last year as president of the 4th of July committee?
We've talked about this. Like this is like maybe if I.
But the thing is, if
Maybe
it's your
find
last year,
somebody.
we got to do like a grand finale.
Do a Rafa float.
I'm not leaving.
A
Look,
raffle
I made
float.
a
pledge?
promise to Austin that I wouldn't abandon him in the committee. You know.
He
Okay, but
become
I'm
the next
saying like
president.
if you're the if
Why
it's
doesn't Austin become the
I mean, he's already sidled with enough duties.
Oh, yeah, he's
right?
the MC, I forgot.
no, but he can
No.
No.
he could do it. But anyways, we're
I
talking
don't
about
know.
if
I
it's your
just feel
last
like,
year,
yeah.
we should do something special. If it's your last year,
It's
a raffle float with
A
your big
Rafa face
melena.
float.
we can do that when I'm like an old guy and close to dying. We'll do something special for me. But
We're
for now,
offering it now.
But
We're not offering it for 50 years
We're
old.
not doing a dedicated to Rafa float. No way.
Yeah, that's
ridiculous.
pretty
6
presumptuous.
years of service.
Okay.
What is it going to look like? LOL. I have so many ideas.
We can do some cool things. It just needs to have a nice bit of shade, because that's what really gets it going, and then figure out some other stuff.
All right.
Gotta have stability, but shake ability.
Yeah.
What
I
if
like
we
that.
do a nude beach float and we all go naked?
It's gotta have shade, but fade.
You know, it would be good if this year we did something to get the sound really going.
Oh, that'd be
So
the
we
best.
would be like a music-driven float,
Yeah.
That's
which we never are.
ideal.
We're always dependent.
Yeah,
on
we're always
the
dependent on other people's
drunkenness.
music, and we should be like cranking music. We should be
Playing music.
Yeah,
So any
that's
ideas
more
are
expensive.
welcome.
Huh?
Any ideas are
Have
welcome.
Shirts and Skins play loud.
Anyway, I got another thing here.
I just got denied.
On July 7th is the Lionfish Derby. Thanks, Lenny. Which is when you go and slay lionfish in the bay. If anybody's up for that, July 7th. And we'll mention it again now that I know that it's a thing. We got one half of a diver here.
Where is that being hosted?
At the yacht club.
Oh yeah.
Oh, at the yacht club.
Oh,
Okay.
Lenny likes the nude float. So do I. I like it.
Nude float would be.
That'd be awesome. We're a nudist beach float.
You know, even if we just did like beach.
We did that one year.
No, we never do. We always say let's go in bathing suits and bikinis, but everybody's got their shirts on. It's not as cool. It's not as.
I am
And
not
I
even
get-
going to say anything
I
to
get-
you,
I-
Mr. Nude Beach Goer. With shorts on, okay? We went to a nude beach and Rafa kept his shorts on. I was like, okay, well, we're at the
He
nude
didn't want to
beach.
show his junk.
Guess not.
Next time.
Right.
It was a mistake.
That was the one chance. That's,
For you.
What?
I've been to that nude beach like 100 times.
I'm clothed
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah, because I go with other people who are clothed. So.
Who cares?
Why do I have to expose my Johnson to everybody?
Because everybody's...
Some people are doing it. It was a half
Johnson.
half
yeah.
nude beach.
There was an Ian lookalike, though. Remember?
Yeah.
Exposing everything. That was interesting, yeah. Anyway.
Do we have any listeners, by the way?
We got like
We got some
4.
people.
Anyway, I want to say that this is your No One's Listening show. There's a way to subscribe to these things so you get a every time like that we come on, you'll get a little notice. It's only once a week. If you find it there in your settings, make sure to do it. You might be in your car, and then this is something nice to listen to, and we talk about the key and what's going on the key every week. No One's Listening show, episode 109, Monday, May 14th.
Unbelievable 109.
Yes. And that's about it. I will say, even though it's one day late, it doesn't matter. I'll say it here. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Yeah.
Love some moms.
Yeah, happy
We do. They're the
belated
best.
Mother's Day. You guys definitely have it super hard.
And on that note, I don't
Mine's
think
the best.
How about why does everybody feel the need to put on Instagram, like and Facebook, all about their mom? Like, what is that all about?
It's how to love.
What is that?
Okay,
what is
so
that
this
phenomenon?
is like,
not to open up a whole box of worms here.
I can get
Rafa's
into
gonna
this.
go
Come
have
on.
another
I
half
don't-
But
hour
it's
here.
so
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Come on, like I don't.
Rafa doesn't even have Instagram.
There's something about social media that has gotten people very. I get it because it's nice to share what you like in this world with the people you like, and I think a lot of people think that they're mainly sharing it to the people they like, but really, it's almost sharing it to just anybody and like people they don't even care about, and it just comes off. I don't know.
It cheapens it, I think. Like if you're trying to make a genuine gesture towards somebody to just like post on social media, just I don't know, it cheapens the gesture to me.
There's something about that I
Especially when the person is not on social media, they're not even going to see it.
I feel like other people think
Yeah,
about
You know,
it
like all those
differently,
moms.
Which is most of the
Most
time.
of the moms,
yeah.
yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people think about it differently,
Yeah,
but
of course.
at the same time, I think that what they're saying is like, I'm so happy. They're really talking about themselves. They're not talking about their moms.
Correct,
Okay?
yeah.
They're talking about
All
themselves
happy about yourself.
and how happy they are about their mom. But what they really want is to share with you how happy they are about their mom or whatever else they're doing in that moment.
They're
you know?
also sharing pictures of their moms in the 70s and stuff. Like most of them are old pictures, so it's also like, look how cool my mom was, or something.
So
I think it's good.
That's a
I think
cynical
it's
way
fine
to-
too. I don't-
You can do whatever you want with your account, and it is what it
That's
is.
very true.
I guess I would feel kind of weird if somebody was like trying to compliment me and like I don't know. I'm trying to make a good analogy here, but it just seems like it doesn't have to do with the target of the celebration, right? That it just, like Ralph was saying, it's about the person making it, not about the mom or whatever. Because the mom's probably not going to even see it. I don't know. It just seems weird to me. I would never put up pictures of my mom on like Instagram for everybody to see, to be like, happy, I love you, mom. It's like, no, I called my mom and I talked to her on the phone for a while. You know what I mean? And had a genuine conversation with her instead of like telling everybody like, hey guys, did you know that I really love my mom?
So
I'm sure those people called their moms.
I know they
too,
did too, but it just I don't know. I'm just trying to
feel funny about
most
it,
of the time I just let this stuff slide, but when I really think about the exercise of it, like the pressing of the post button, it just makes me think like, what?
So
it's strange
I
to me.
think we're right there on the brink of the people who feel like social media, like that kind of thing, is still like not totally normal. Like it's still like a conscious choice that you might do it or not do it. Whereas there's some people who are like, this is just the way you express yourself, and I feel comfortable expressing myself this way. So when they do that, and their mom won't even see it, they don't even think that they are the cynical way that we're looking at it. They think to themselves, I am sharing this because, with you guys, my friends who are going to see it, okay, because I feel good about it. And I want to communicate to you guys, my friends, that this makes me feel good. And I want to share that experience with you.
Right.
Okay? Which I don't feel to do, like, in that kind of setting, because, A, I think it's not just your friends. So, like, a lot of people are naive to how many people are actually looking at it and the type of people and who's looking at it and at what time and whatever. And that it just doesn't give me any sense of, like, I don't want to... There's also that kind of feedback loop of like you get the likes and you look at the likes and like who liked it, and it's like there's something up with that. But for a lot of people that's totally normal and they don't even second guess it, you know. So they're just like, this is something I like and I'm sharing it with my friends. The same way you would share any other photo that's not your parents or whatever. Why are you sharing it? I mean, why are you putting it out there? Are you putting it out there because you want criticism, or are you putting it out there because you are thinking to yourself, this is something that I enjoy, and I want my friends to enjoy it also.
Right.
You know?
But I guess the way I feel about all those Mother's Day posts is the same way when I see couples that are like posting about each other, like pictures like, this is my life, my light, my best friend. You know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like you just took something that was like, because me and my girlfriend, we never post anything like that. And my girlfriend's very prolific on Instagram, but I follow her and all her stories because I like seeing what the dog is doing and all that. You know what I mean? I like that stuff. I do. I follow it and I follow it intently, and I do. I'm like,
the dog still alive?
I'm an Instagram consumer. I'll admit, I'm an Instagram consumer and not a producer. So I will admit that. You know,
me too.
So take it with a grain of salt. But to me, turning something personal, like a personal relationship, into a public forum, it feels like a violation of the relationship. You know, like this man right here, even if it's positive, he is the best. He is my rock. You know, and like all of a sudden, I'm a character in this narrative, and I didn't sign up for that. You know, and I feel like moms are even less able to like process what that means. They're joining this narrative they had nothing to do with, and they not even aware of it. And I feel you know, and that's the way I felt when I've been posted about on media before.
Stop posting about you then, shit.
No, I mean I like accolades. It's nice, you know, but it just seems so like the shallow takeaway from it. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of stuff that I hold dear, and I would never just put it on blast because I have respect for that person. And I know that seems like way overthinking it, but that's all. That's all I can think of, because I would never cheapen my relationship with the people I care about like that.
It's not
that to me, that's what it is.
Especially when Sam's like hashtag GanonB. That's a little weird.
What's Ganon?
What is that?
Ganon2.
Yeah, right.
That's really funny.
Well, I will say this about Sam. I don't think she listens to this, but her Instagram account is like this very like hollow. Like she takes it very seriously. And she'll never delete a single post off Instagram ever, no matter what.
Okay.
Because she thinks about what she posts on there for a long time. You know what I mean? And it doesn't get deleted in the future, you know, because things didn't whatever. You know what I mean? And I think I respect that.
I guess.
Of course, they break up with boyfriends or whatever. You know?
I didn't.
You break up with a boyfriend, people delete all those photos and stuff. That chunk of history deletes. Well, that's good. I never want to think about it so much. That's why I never post, because I'm like so conscious of what I'm broadcasting.
it's
to
like
everybody.
a permanent record of your.
I do feel that way. Yeah.
And like, who
Yeah.
are you and what is it?
My last post.
What is it?
The Cranberries album.
Oh, there you go.
But like, I'm gonna just leave. That was January juice.
So what were you?
I'm like looking right now.
What were you posting about at the time? You know, it's like, why post at all? If not, I don't know what to think.
I'm gonna
It's
go
like
and get
Either, and
Instagram
like I
right
say,
now.
take it with a grain of salt because I do not produce at all, and I'm critiquing what others are producing that I'm
Gannon has a lot
consuming.
of
You know,
lobster on here. A
Yeah.
frog.
keep it vague.
Yeah. I like it.
Anyways,
All right.
you got-
Anyway, I always had when I used to look at that stuff, I had this thought that at first I was very judgmental of people's pictures. So I was like, why are you posting this? This is not a good picture, right? It's not a good picture. It's not interesting. It's not whatever, you know? Or maybe
Yeah.
you've posted it 50 times. I don't care. You know, it's boring. But then I realized what I was telling you guys before. It's like people are just trying to share their experience with you.
Oh, like when I send you
Without-
pictures of what I'm doing and you're like, I already
But
got
that's
the
so
gift.
much. That's so much more personal.
I know,
dude.
I'm just playing because I was angry last time.
Like one-on-one is 100 times more personal. Like that's what I like to do. If I get
Yeah.
a good picture, I send it to like direct. You know, I like to send it direct
Yeah.
instead of an Instagram.
well,
or
that's
something
like
that.
our Clusa Club chat is my Instagram. Like I see
Yeah.
something interesting, I'm like,
I wanna
I need to
join
share
it.
this with somebody. You know what I mean? But I'm not ready to put it on the database. I guess
Yeah.
that's the way I think about it. I don't know.
But at first, I was very critical about people's pictures. Like, man, it's not a good picture. Why are you sharing it? Or you've shared that same thought a
Yeah,
million
but
times.
Instagram has changed since it came out.
Yeah.
But then I thought to myself, look, these people are just trying to share with me their lives. I'm going to give
Yeah.
them the like because
What?
They
Don't
wanna-
like if you don't
Thank
want
you, Rafa.
to.
Thank you for the blessing.
it's not a blessing.
don't even
It's
go
almost
on
like
it if that's-
no. It's really me saying, dude, I'm happy that you're happy. Like, boom. You know?
I know it's
As opposed to being like, well, it's not a good picture. I'm not gonna like it.
Oh, that's me all the time. I'm like, that's a shitty picture.
Anna, you're so New York.
What's
But I also deleted friends because I got over the friends and I deleted everybody. And then a friend, like a month ago, goes to me. She's like, can you check what this looks like when you open your Instagram? And I'm like, bitch, I deleted you.
Ooh.
Fuck.
well, you don't have to worry because Instagram.
And then she got really offended.
they checked. They changed the thing, so you don't.
No,
have
but she asked me next to
To
her. She
look
goes,
her up?
Can you go look me up, see how this looks to my coworkers? And I was like,
Whoops.
I deleted you like 6 months ago. And she was
Because
like,
you got
what?
crap content.
I mean, I deleted a lot of the friends, and she made me add her back, and now I follow her again. Shout out to Cara Martinez.
They stopped. It's horrible. No.
It's funny. She knows.
It's
she was next
fine.
to me.
It's exactly that.
I
If you
deleted all
don't
the
like
friends.
people's photos, like why are you following them? You know, if they're boring to you,
It's not about not liking the photos. I unfollowed a lot of friends that were posting what they were doing in their social lives. I like to see
Photos.
a cool photo or a plant or an artwork or something or whatever.
No more champagne bottles for you?
No more what are you doing every freaking weekend? Because I know what you're doing the weekend. I'm talking to you. So I don't know.
Boosh.
Yeah, and I mean that about all my friends, not just the one I pointed out.
This
but-
I live on Instagram for the This Is Rafa drops that come only once every 6 months or something.
Done.
Once every
That's
year.
over.
It's over.
The cum? Once every. What? Sorry, we just got rated R.
She just looked at me and goes, "Rafa drops the cum."
No way.
What?
Wait, what happened?
Well, the drops,
Saying,
he's throwing down some material, some real conceptual, photography going around the key.
Oh, like his WhatsApp profile pics. Those are the best. I wait for those seasonal changes.
I'm not gonna lie, I do miss seeing the nice pictures on retradio.net.
Oh,
Oh, I
yeah,
miss that
Dude,
shit.
so do I.
those are so good.
You should get on that because
No.
it's you.
I know, but it's just.
Wow, I got picked quick.
It might come.
What,
back.
Moose?
It's hard.
Oh.
It's hard. You know, it's hard. I'll tell you what's hard. You're living on the key, you buy on the key, and then one of your best key boys, he rides off the
Rides
key.
off the key.
Dude, that's
and
tough.
never looks
Circle
back.
of life.
That
makes-
was actually that day was sad.
Oh, it makes me. It makes me wonder, the longevity of the thing. It's like, how long can you can you really stick it out?
How long can you hold out for?
How long can you really hold out? And I
Dude,
thought
you
we
need
had
new
like
friends.
of course. In that
Make
sense,
new
we're
friends.
fine. We're fine in the no.
We're not following
making
Gannon on
friends. I'm not
Instagram
looking to make
anymore.
new friends. But I'm fine because
Hashtag no new friends.
we're still friends, and we go to the Cuda now.
I'm so going next time. I'm so jealous.
But
Go
what
ahead.
I'm saying is like it makes you think like you have a foundation here suddenly, but then you don't.
Oh,
And
that
it's like it
foundation's
gets-
been rocked a long time ago.
It gets rocked constantly, yeah.
Well,
but
Rafa's just crying about Gannon now.
Yeah, I mean,
it gets rocked all the time though.
I mean, if we're like going into late hours on the show here, I'll talk about it a little bit. It's, I've hung on out here for the past like 6 years after all the houses that my family owned were sold. And I lived in Alex Cervera's mom's, basically her, back room for 3 years. And then I got a good deal on a Galen apartment here. And I was like, what's my long-term plan out here, to buy an apartment or whatever? And then what's going to happen? Like, am I going to have kids and yada, yada? And it's just, the sustainability. It was tough because it's like, I could make it work, you could. But everybody's drying up. And then I thought about everybody I know who lives out here. They all rent. That, like, our whole community is in this block, right? And they're all renters for the most part. And a lot of them that own are just like owning as investment, and their parents live over there. We don't know anybody who lives in a house. I don't want to paint the doom and gloom, but
It's true.
yeah, and a lot of the key isn't what we remember it being. Like you guys say, the friend group though is, I mean, to me it's as strong as ever.
It's fine.
Yeah, and like I don't think much about coming to the Key. It's just like another neighborhood, the one I happen to be from in Miami. I love Miami, and I'm going to be here for a long time. So, yeah, it is kind of a weird thing. We have the Calusa Club, and we're trying to like keep the Key group together, but it's just going to have to become more of a floating group of Miami rather than, unfortunately, because we don't have any establishments on the Key really. When you think about it.
Yep.
And I have a house, and I live in a neighborhood, and honestly, my neighborhood reminds me more of the Key.
Yeah.
In ways that the Key hasn't looked to me in forever. Like
sure.
the guy who lives next to me is like a roofer. Like there's like normal people around,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the Key, we all know, is just kind of transformed from that.
Of course.
So.
Well, we slept differently on the Key that night.
Oh, thank you.
Really?
Yes. It was a sad day. Rafa was really sad.
It's funny when you
was
move off, you realize like, man, everybody else has already moved off. Like a lot of,
Yeah.
they lived off the Key for years and years.
We're like, no. There's
Still
three of us sitting here with you.
For years and years, Bob.
Bob's
Grant,
been gone for a while.
Jess, man, my like original core friends from the Key, none of them live on the Key. Now that I think
Yeah.
about it, like the guys I, was born with out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt Freed is
true.
probably the only one that I like
Matt.
that
He's the one
actually
with
has
you.
longevity out here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is Monday.
It is what?
It is Monday.
Monday, May 14th.
Since we're going super extra, long hours, I was walking with my brother this weekend, and he's
Where? In New York.
Oh yeah, we were walking together, and he was like, after I hung out with Jonathan that day in the parking lot in front of the Augusta till like 2 a.m, he was like, I got to thinking that you used to hang out with him when you were like 14 doing the same shit.
Things have not changed.
And my brother was like, I now get it. And I was like, oh Lord, yeah.
But what do you mean?
Because like
he gets
we're coming
what?
up. Well, we're coming up on 20 years of friendship, and so he was like, "Oh man, like after I hung out with him, like one like solidified in him, I got it."
Yeah, those
funny.
truck beers at your nearest mini mall. They work out.
On Grant.
They work out. Well,
I think
Monday.
we should-
Monday's good.
Monday is
on a Monday.
Moose
Oh.
thinks Monday's good too.
Another thing that's happening is the softball league that's gone out here for decades and decades, and we've only just started to get going on, is now pretty much kaput on the Key because there's no field to play on.
Yep.
It's another thing that's just like, what? They, you haven't been hooked up this whole time? But a little background, I mean, the softball league has gone on for probably since the 80s. And there was a multitude of places to play back then. You had St. Agnes Field, you had the Key Biscayne Elementary School field, of course Crandon, and Crandon's where it's been for the past decade or so. And
But we're going to play there this year, right?
no,
No?
it doesn't look that way. No, June 1st is the official end of times for that field. And the one side has already been dismantled. The backstop is gone. You guys remember that side of the field, the one closer to Crandon? It's always been in disrepair, right? Now they've totally taken the backstop out, and that nobody will play baseball there ever again. And then the other side, it still stands, but June 1st is the official date where it's going to cease to be a playing field at all.
Yeah.
And that may change. Maybe the key will push for it, but really adult softball has always been, just like Frisbee, an afterthought on the periphery of the Key Biscayne Athletic Association, or there isn't even really a Key Biscayne Athletic Association. It's Key Biscayne recreational, whatever, and they've never. I have a email from 2007 to Todd Hofferberth about getting space for Frisbee on the Key, and obviously he's a busy guy, there's a lot going on, but we've always just kind of slipped through the cracks, and softball's been that way lately, and now it's really like it's done. So I've been, just like last year, I've been reaching out, trying to get a field in the city of Miami, hopefully at Peacock, and I don't know. That's kind of where that's at. It's another institution that
the Key hates its residents, man. It's just like always wanting to recycle people. That's what I feel like. It's like it does everything possible, especially because of. I mean, less in the past years, you've had politicians and voices speak out for the idea of trying to keep people here, but really everybody's just looking for the next guy to buy and to get out, and that's kind of how it works. And I guess it's the natural course of things.
Yeah, I mean, the key is just adjusting to the desirability of it and the type of people that can afford to live in such a desirable place, and those type of people aren't big into baseball. I mean, how many people really want to play softball on the Key? You know what I mean? Like it's in a market shift. You know, that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm not a part of the demographic that this island is for anymore.
Oh, Cannon.
No, I mean,
Yep, I agree. I mean, and to a certain extent, I agree. Yeah, it's and they don't do
It's not
what
really
it takes so that it doesn't change. So it's like everybody's just like, yeah, let's like pillage the Key. Basically,
Let's
like,
have cops on every corner. I'm joking.
but it's. I mean,
That's not even-
I know,
when
I
you
know.
say
That's
when you
part
say
of it,
they,
but it's
it's like you know the neighborhood I moved into is historically a poor black neighborhood, and they're trying. I don't want to compare the struggle because they were relegated there by a lot of
it's a different
discrimination and
history.
stuff like that. But the market is the same, and that's becoming a more desirable area. And there's people trying to hold that together in the old community. But I mean, you know, the invisible hand is driving prices up. It's very desirable to live on the Key. It's a freaking awesome place in Miami, you know.
Yeah.
And a firefighter, you know, isn't valued by society enough to afford that kind of thing. That's all it is. And honestly, if I want to live on the Key, I really could pull it off. People do it.
Well, let's see what
blue collar
where-
people do it on the Key. So I'm never gonna say, you know.
Let's see where your new neighborhood is in like 15, 20 years.
I'm sure it'll be valuable because it's the tide.
Exactly.
It's hard to fight the tide.
you know, you're in trouble when those big block box houses show up
Right, exactly.
Which there randomly slowly are in those neighborhoods.
everywhere. They're horrible.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know the idea of it. There's a guy who lives right next to me, thankfully not directly next door, that has built a box that, tiny 5,000 square foot. My lot's like 6,000, but he's built the entire thing up just to maximize everything. And it has no frontage, like no patio.
Yeah, no, that's
no willingness to interact with people in the neighborhood.
illegal.
You know, and that's terrible to me.
That is the
Horrible.
worst part of the whole thing. It's this. In front of my old house on Heather, someone just built one of those,
Really?
and it's exactly that. It's maximized square footage, and then try to give it like a little modern touch, a little contemporary touch, and they're all.
But the maximizing square footage thing isn't. I like density. Density gives sense of place, and there's some good aesthetic things that can come from that done correctly. But it's just the closing off from the community.
yeah.
Like this guy just put up a big gate, and it's just like his. He drives in, and it's like his gate might as well just say like "fuck off." You know what I mean? The gate
Basically.
closes when one of our friends came over. to my place, they were like, one of our friends that's in, landscaping and construction. He's like, you got to put up a 6-foot wall and you got to have it all enclosed and then you park your car in there and bippity bop, you got to shut yourself off in here because people are going to be scoping you out and casing it and trying to rob you. And you need to shut yourself off because screw you, I got mine. And that's like that's what's happened on the Key because these people came from South America or whatever, and a lot of them are just like, I remember selling 4th of July buttons, speaking of the 4th, when I was a kid, and it was already happening, like, bing, bing, pressing the button, and then, like, a maid would come on and, like, didn't know what the parade was, and they had no willingness to participate in the community at all. It's a little rant there, but that's what happens. It's just a place for people to camp. They don't want to participate in being a part of the community, and I think that's really unfortunate because that's why I want to live a place. That's why I want to live here so badly.
You would like going to the museum with me because a lot of artists talk about these problems.
Yeah.
I take you.
It is.
It's a difference. It's a difference in priorities, Like,
of course.
To me, there's so much value, and that's why it's so hard to leave the Key because really moving to the Garden District, as Manny calls it, to me it was so cool because I would walk the dog. Also an awesome thing on the Key. That's a great place for dogs and kids. And you walk around and you see all these people and it's freaking awesome. It still is.
Yeah,
never say otherwise. But a lot of people don't have that same mindset. They just want theirs and they don't want to be a part of a community.
Yeah.
It's strange to me, The Key still has it in spades. Don't get me wrong. There's a great community out here. It's just... And
those people end up being in prison in their own little thing. It sucks. It's like the bars and the freaking gates and
Yeah. But I mean...
They move to a place that's secure and then put up all these things and end up living in the same kind of situation that they were avoiding to begin with.
So...
Yeah.
Horrible. That global warming...
Global warming. Global
kick in soon enough.
Gentrification. Global warming.
Give me that sea level rise, dude. Give me that sea level rise.
No, chill, man. Don't ask for that shit. That's not good. We're down to 1 viewer now, guys.
No, they don't have to watch. No one ever listens. That's what I call the no one's listening show.
Johnny's dying to get out of here.
109. Let's wrap it up. This was a good one. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you for listening, everybody.
Subscribe and all that stuff, and keep posted. I think Mondays might be the day.
I like Mondays.
At least for now.
I like Mondays.
Okay.
Stop bullying, guys.
Come Monday. Let's go.
And yield at the yellow light.
If you like to listen, subscribe on iTunes too or whatever. And stay tuned for 101.1. It should come back on in the next week. On that note, have a great night.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.